1 2 1 2. Hey, out there in La La Land. Hope you can hear us. We're monitoring comments live, so if you want to talk to us, hit us up in the chat. 1 2 1 2. Hey, out there in La La Land. Hope you can hear us. We're monitoring comments live, so if you want to talk to us, hit us up in the chat. 1 2 1 2. Hey, out there in La La Land. Hope you can hear us. We're monitoring comments live, so if you want to talk to us.
I'm a free woman.
30.
I've got some new
19.
shoes.
15.
Yeah, yesterday's news.
It's a good song. I like that song. Too bad you can't hear it.
I can't hear it.
It's a good tune.
What song? What song is it?
It's some Creative Commons song. All right, ready? 2, 1. Here we go. Hey, look at us. We're on TV. Hey, everybody. We're back. It's live. It's Tuesday. This show is a JK with your pals, Jason and Keith. Jason on the left and a little close, actually. How am I that close? Let me see if I can back my camera up. I look a little intrusive. Who's that?
You're huge anyway, and now you're even closer than you need to be.
I know. I thought I positioned that thing just right. Maybe I was sitting farther back when I... Oh, well. Anyway, we're here, and we're happy you're along. Welcome on a pop-up Tuesday. This is actually our first time slot, I think, isn't it?
It is, yes. When we very first started this thing, we were doing it. We didn't try Skype yet, but we were doing audio only, if I remember correctly.
We were,
and it was via Skype.
There's Ray's here. Hi, Ray. Good to see you. Welcome to the pop-up. So good to have you. We actually, I suggested this to Keith as I was on my way home this afternoon. I'm like, we should do a show tonight, and we're like, because it hadn't occurred to me that we could just go back to the Skype thing and do the Skype show, and I'm like, we should just do that because that way we do more shows. We don't got to worry about coming over. We can, recliners or whatever, but we can do this format. And now that we have all the ins and outs of it, we're doing well. So what's going on with you, man?
And it snowed overnight.
Oh my God. Did it ever?
So we were, talking about that. And then our boss sent us a thing, hey, 2 hour late reporting tomorrow. So I stepped outside. It was raining ice.
Right.
Raining, like you could walk out there and it would hurt. It wasn't hail,
right?
But it was raining ice. As soon as it hit the ground, it was frozen. It was like 28 degrees overnight.
Right.
So I went to bed. I got up this morning and looked out as I was making my way to the toilet for the morning thing. I looked out the window of the bathroom and I saw white on my garage. I went, what the hell?
Right.
So there was probably, at least at my house, probably 1/4 inch of snow. And when I say snow, I mean you could scoop it up and it automatically makes the perfect snowball. I just didn't have. It
definitely is that kind of.
I didn't have anybody to throw it at.
For sure, yeah.
But so we started late today, and but you up where you are currently working. Did you guys get more than that?
So actually, we got more here in Brookmuhlbach as well. It was about an inch, I think. But the thing about my car this morning was not only was it frosted with snowy goodness, but it also had a crusty, icy shell on it. So I get the best of both worlds. So I had to not only go out and crack the skull off of my car, I had to sweep it off and do the whole thing. So we knew it was coming. I didn't think it would be this much, but it was much more than I thought. So it was actually kind of cool. So it was great to see snow, something Daniel Nathaniel, who is also here, does not see very often. If at all, in beautiful Hawaii, where it is now going on 9:04. Right, Daniel? Am I close? I'm close. So anyway, what are we going to talk about? Well, we're going to talk about we're this close to a vaccine. I think that's something we could talk about. We'll talk about more snow coming.
That's 8 inches, right?
I want to talk about Dolly Parton.
That's funny. Okay.
Why is it funny?
Well, because... for something we'll announce later.
Darren's here for the first time in a while. He says my ex's heart has a crusty, icy shell. Hey, buddy. That is a story for I've got a beer for every one of those too. So, yeah, Dolly. So why is Dolly Parton funny again? She just had a birthday.
For something we'll announce in a little while.
Oh, roger that. Okay, yeah. So, we do have a surprise for later. That's good. So if you're hanging on, tell a friend because there's a reason to hang on till the end of the snow. Yeah, Mauna Kea. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about Mauna Kea. So, anyway, no sponsors tonight. So it's just us in the two windows. So, let me start with this. Now, I'm going to bring this up on the screen, and you're not going to be able to see it, unfortunately. Are you monitoring the feed as well, or are you not?
Let me see if I can.
Anyway, I'm going to bring it up anyway, and let me see if I can get it right. So what I'm bringing up on screen is the March 24th sighting of this gigantic-ass alligator in Georgia. So I'm playing it for the good people. Unfortunately, I have to endure this ad from Euronews, which sucks. Hopefully I can skip over it.
Drink heavily.
There we go. Okay, Okay, so here it is. Here's this gigantic alligator walking onto the putting green in Georgia somewhere. It looks like it's... So it looks like it's in, like on the coast of Georgia. So that you can see the dude's putter in the distance, and I'm coming to a point with this, and it's a big fucking alligator. I mean, this is a big boy, right?
I was gonna say that's.
So he squats because the guy moves, so he squats and is like, "No, you're not going to get your putter." I think his tail is actually bigger than his body, so that's pretty wild.
I saw that. That's as it says, almost a year old. Right. I saw that last year. And that's amazing and would scare the absolute bejesus out of me.
Okay, so let's look at the next one now. This is recent. So let me play that. Go back to the scene here. So this is the giant alligator, apparently, that appeared in Florida by Tyler Stolting. And some were questioning whether or not it was real, but let's listen to the expert for a minute.
Happily walking on the golf course there.
And he really says, he just kind of like, yeah, it's probably real.
We see large alligators like this all
he's
the
just
time
like, I think people don't realize that they could see alligators that big in the wild. Here's what I think, and I want you to look at it.
What do you mean probably real?
Well, people are thinking it was a CGI job.
See an alligator walking around.
Right, so they just CGI'd this big bad boy in, which is, I thought that the first time too. But it looks, it looks bona fide. My point is, Keith,
in Florida, anywhere.
What the fuck with all the alligators?
There can be an alligator.
We are being attacked by giant alligators, I think, in the United States. I think we've got bigger problems other than elections and crooked people. There are giant alligators starting to take over, and this worries me a lot.
That one's tall too. You see that?
It was huge. Oh my God, it was like 90 feet long.
They don't have any natural predators, man,
no.
except man.
No.
So
men with golf clubs.
Men with golf, and let's face it, men with golf clubs are not the most apex predator of the two in the equation.
What is the animal? And you guys can weigh in the chat too. What is the animal you are most afraid of?
Oh boy, what am I most afraid of?
Hang on, we're losing some frames here. I don't know why.
I saw that. We're frozen.
What the hell? It was probably playing that video that killed it. What the fuck happened?
To answer your question, because the video's always behind.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I don't know. I think a woman scorned is what I'm most afraid of. I don't know. It just depends on what situation I'm in.
Right.
I don't want to be mauled by a big cat.
Yeah.
And when I say big cat, I mean tiger, lion. I think that would hurt.
Roach is the animal I fear the most. Why? Well, I was like 10 feet from a bear in Alaska, so that didn't bother me, right? I was like, I've been close to snakes, eagles, everything else, and it hasn't really bugged me all that much. I'm just going to prop this up so I can see the bit rate a little better, just in case, so I can see if it's going south. I think it's just that I started both of those videos at the same time and it killed the feed. Sorry, folks. And so, but one night I was with someone in Florida, and we were doing something, and we'd finished that thing. And when we finished that thing, we were just sort of chilling on the bed right there, right? So I got to reshare. And then all of a sudden, and it might have been what they call a palmetto bug, but I don't think so. Hang on. I'll just share this for everybody here. Palmetto bug, so the bed is like this iron wrought bed, and it's got these posts on the end, right, with these balls on it. Balls is the wrong word, but they're balls. They're orbs, whatever. The palmetto bug flies over and goes, doot, like that. And then it does one of these. It just sort of turns and looks right at me. And then it goes, and it flies right toward me. And Keith, honestly, I don't think I've ever been more scared of anything in my life because, like, I was new to Florida. I didn't know if palmetto bugs had, like, teeth or whatever. And this thing, and I just went, wah, freaked out. It was just the worst. And it was at least as long. It was like at least 4 or 5 inches long. It was huge. So this thing's coming at me full speed, and I'm just like, I didn't know what to do. So anyway, if I had to say any animal, it's roach. Hell yeah, I screamed. I'm not too proud to scream.
Did you scream louder than you did in the previous act?
Yeah. Probably. It was no good. I mean, it was no bueno, that's for sure. So, all right, let me see if I can get back to the chat here at least.
That's very interesting.
At the same time.
I've seen people, what happens when they get bitten by poisonous snakes. Living in Southwest Oklahoma,
that's for sure.
People get bitten by rattlesnakes,
right?
Or copperheads or whatever. And the way the appendage swells up, you have to know is painful. Then they have to cut it to relieve the swelling. All that. I get that.
It's just my opinion that most people are afraid of animals. Say something real quick.
And
most people are afraid of animals that they're never going to encounter. Like the giant crocodile, right? It's just one of those anomalies that comes out of the water every 10 years, and you're like, holy fuck. Or those animals that you see 35,000 feet under the sea. You're never going to see that one with the giant, like, weird jaws that light up and want to eat your head. You're never going to see that thing, right? But a roach, that's an everyday thing. They're never going to die, and it may have teeth like this, and that's what frightens me.
I think did we freeze again?
No, we're good to go.
Okay.
In fact, we got new viewers. We got 8 new viewers. Welcome, viewers. Sign in where you want. And we need you to sign in, and we lost you on the drop. But since we got 7 of you, tell us what animal scares you the most. Insect, animal, rodent, whatever. We want to know that. Also, if you're tuning in, we've got a surprise at the end of the show. We think we've got the bitrate thing solved. So thanks for hanging on. We appreciate it. Sorry for the problems earlier. I'm looking over here because this is my production screen, so don't get scared.
Right.
So you said what? So what did you say? What did you say what animal did you hate the most?
What animal do I hate the most?
Or do you see? That's what I mean. You just don't think about it every day, right?
What animal do I hate the most?
A deer jumping in front of my car, maybe.
Fucking mosquitoes.
Oh, yeah.
Mosquitoes drive me crazy.
Mosquitoes are the worst.
And that's one thing about being in Germany. There are actually big, ugly, flying, large wingspan bugs that eat mosquitoes. I don't remember getting bit by a mosquito this summer.
PJ says spiders. Daniel says centipedes. Centipedes is a good one. I always thought millipedes, like the furry ones. You remember seeing and also they're small, but those bugs that have the little pinchers on the end, they used to have shit tons of those in California, and I hated those. They just look scary.
I'm not sure I've ever seen a centipede in real life, but yeah, I don't. Spiders don't scare me.
I don't like spiders and snakes, but that ain't what it takes to love me.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Sneaky snake goes dancing.
Sneaky snake. That's a good song.
Tom T. Hall.
Tom T. Hall.
Let's see. So spiders, I don't have. I'm not scared of spiders.
Ziggy Stardust and Spiders of Mars.
I don't want to get bitten by a spider.
Right.
But they don't scare me. I had a black widow come at me.
Come at me, bro.
I was doing some work at a house we owned when I was married.
Right.
And I could see the mama, the black widow, the one with the red hourglass on her. That's the female.
Right.
And I took an egg sack, which is only about smaller than a quarter, about a nickel size, out of the area.
This is already grossing me out, by the way. You said egg sack. That was enough to gross me out.
Mama chased me.
Oh, shit.
I dispatched her with the shovel and authority. So I don't want to get bit by. There's lots of things you don't want to get bit by.
Like an ex-wife or something.
Man.
June bugs, Ray said. I loved June bugs. So June bugs were always the ones with like the hard green emeraldy shells. There were tons of those in California, so I always liked those. But I get that, I guess. Dragonflies are always kind of weird to me, but they always seem pretty harmless, right?
Yeah, just scary looking.
Yeah. Like you.
Wow.
See, that was funny.
I'm so huge that
I've had enough Red Bull that I have a little zest tonight. So you needed to know that.
I found a new wine last week, man. It was good.
Was it under like $10?
It was €11.
So about 14. Okay, that's not bad. That's still all right.
But it was recommended to me by the sommelier at Globus. So
I keep trying to like wine and I can't do it. I really, because Stefan loves wine, right? Stefan's really into wine. And I'm like, I should really get into red wine. I think that would be a cool thing to like. But I can't stand it. Every time I think, oh, this is a good, it's like I'm drinking sandpaper. I can't fucking stand it.
Now this has a, what was that? You okay over there?
Yeah, it's a phone I just had repaired. Hopefully it didn't break again. I really want to sell that.
This has a woody, buttery, peppery kind of taste to it.
That's Woody Harrelson?
I don't know what Woody Harrelson tastes like.
Kind of taste?
I don't know.
That's odd.
No marijuana. I don't know. So
he is well liked in Hollywood, isn't he?
He really is.
He gets work all the time.
He sounds like a good guy.
Sounds like a great guy. Apparently his father was a serial killer, but he sounds like a great guy.
Oh, there's that. So anyway, what else happened? Oh, we had a Star Wars death.
David Prowse. Yeah.
Yes. So
David Prowse had as I recall, a very conflicted relationship with Star Wars. I mean, it wasn't conflicted. That's not the right way to say it. He was great with the fans. He was obviously he was Darth Vader for the first 3 movies, on and on. But he really resented the fact that they didn't use his voice as Darth Vader. But it's because my understanding was he sounded like, hello, use the Force, Luke. Very sort of Manchester or Birmingham or wherever that accent was from. Not mine, but his. And it sounded kind of upper register nasally, and they wanted more, Luke, I am your, whatever he says, Luke. Obi-Wan told you.
He was an actor before Star Wars.
He was.
And like most of the Star Wars actors, especially the early ones,
right?
That's what he's known for. He's known for being Darth Vader.
PJ
even though you don't see
really
his face.
Of spiders, by the way, he's probably just really scared of the Joker. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. So anyway, he's known for being the masked Darth Vader,
right.
And like you said, they didn't even use his voice. So
go ahead.
But he's basically a stick figure in Star Wars.
What's your opinion on that? So I'm conflicted on this. Like Jeremy Bulloch was Boba Fett. David Prowse was Star Wars. Kenny Baker was R2-D2. Anthony Daniels was C-3PO, but he voiced C-3PO, so he gets extra credit for that. But what is your opinion of all the laudatory comments and accolades and sort of investment in the whatever universe you want to call it, like David Prowse was Darth Vader? Was David Prowse Darth Vader to you, or was James Earl Jones Darth Vader to you?
Ooh.
Yeah, see? Interesting question.
Ooh,
one I've actually kind of went back and forth on.
And I think that's where I'm at. I appreciate David Prowse's thespianism as far as being in front of the camera.
Right.
But we all know Darth Vader is the voice. You can't imagine anybody else doing that voice rather than James Earl Jones.
Right.
So to me, as much as I hate to admit this, and I'm not speaking ill of the dead,
right,
Darth Vader would not be Darth Vader without James Earl Jones. You could put a lot of people behind that mask.
Yeah, and so it took the combination of the two of them, right? But I mean, some could say that, well, we just needed a really tall guy to do the euphemistic motions of Darth Vader, right? But then there's the notion of, like, Andy Serkis played Gollum in The Lord of the Rings, but he voiced him, he did all the body motions. So that there's a difference to that, I think. He was, in every essence, Gollum. Whereas, like, again, Jeremy Bulloch was Boba Fett. Well, Boba Fett was kind of an anomaly. And then there's an actor later on in the sequels who is Boba Fett, right? I think he's...
Right.
When you see he's Pacific Islander or Samoan or something like that. I don't remember his name. My Star Wars knowledge is deteriorating. But anyway, he's that guy, right? So So who's Boba Fett? Is it him? Well, no, it's obviously, I guess it would be Jeremy Bulloch because he played him in Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back. And
the originator, right.
Right. And I'm not, believe me, I'm not saying these people shouldn't be at conventions. It's just, to me, it's an interesting discussion of, was he Boba Fett or was he just the guy that wore the costume that brought him to life? And I guess that's what some would say is the essence of whatever we're talking about is, yeah, that's the point. He's the guy who wore the costume and brought him to life. Like, okay, but again, the voice of Darth Vader was James Earl Jones. People associate immediately James Earl Jones with that. So I wanted to ask you that question and see where you fell on it.
No, I agree. I think you can't have Darth Vader without James Earl Jones. You could put any tall actor, as long as you're talking about characters, Peter Mayhew, if you want to say voiced in quotes, he did the growl for Chewbacca. All the sounds for Chewbacca was Peter Mayhew.
Yeah, different deal because
we are really geeking out right now.
Yeah, so but that's an interesting discussion too because you have people who speak the English words and then, okay, that's what you associate with. But you're right. Again, Chewbacca, Mayhew created the whole character for it, right? Even if later they, ILM or whoever, Skywalker sound re-articulated the sounds, they were made by him. So again, it's an interesting discussion. I don't remember how we got there, but there we are. And it's let's see, what did Daniel say? He said Jango Fett now in The Mandalorian is Boba, right? And then both times unmasked. So again, Jeremy Bulloch, it's an interesting discussion. I mean, many of my diehard Star Wars friends would say Jeremy Bulloch has a rightful place, and I don't disagree with that. Again, I just think it's interesting fodder for 8:20 at night on a podcast.
I started watching The Mandalorian a week ago.
Do you like it?
I really like it.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I've never been one of those Star Wars people that get way into the backstory and read the books and the canon and all that. I've never the movies entertain me. That's all I care about.
Right.
And so
it's all most people care about. That's what they want.
As you said, Daniel Nathaniel, you have to say both of his names, is talking about Jango Fett, and the best I can come up with is I've learned that it's not Baby Yoda. He has a name, and it's Grogu. And I know you're not caught up,
Spoiler alert.
I won't go much into it. But I'm really enjoying The Mandalorian, and so I wait for the next one.
And see, here's another aspect Daniel Nathaniel brings up, and it was kind of one we brought up with Boba Fett. Who's Obi-Wan? Is it Alec Guinness? Is it Ewan McGregor? Is it both? It's an interesting. It's just again. It's like you said. It's how many real episodes of Star Trek where they're kind of nerding out type of stuff. So, as some will say it's one number, some will say it's another number. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but it's a fun original Star Trek. By the way, who was the creator of the original Star Trek? Who brought it to the screen?
Gene Roddenberry.
No, but good try. Try again.
You talk about who produced it?
Who brought it to the screen? Yes.
Desilu,
Lucille Ball, and Desi Arnaz. They are the ones who took a shot on it. We owe probably more to them for Star Trek than we do Gene Roddenberry in a way. So
absolutely.
All right, you are watching This Show is a JK with your pals Jason and Keith on a Tuesday night. Thanks to all 6 viewers who decided to join us even after our Bitstream break. We seem to have things going. The Bitstream has looked good the entire time we've been going. I've been monitoring it. I just happened to switch Wi-Fi channels, and it all worked out. Don't forget we're on iTunes, Spotify, and almost every darnwhere else with an audio show. This will be produced in audio as soon as we're done. But we're trying to reinvigorate the live show, and we said let's get back to Skyping, and Skyping seems to work because we're both like, yeah, we should just do that. So that's what we're doing, and we're here. And for some reason, though, we can't get there's no more watch parties. That's bumming us both out. Or they've just moved the button to somewhere really inconvenient, so we can't hit as many of you as we'd like. That said, we would appreciate if you'd watch and join us because we would like to make this show bigger. So thank you very much. Here's a question.
Facebook has changed so many things. Hang on. Facebook's changed so many things. You know, one drives me absolutely fuck crazy is the comments are defaulted to most relevant.
Most relevant. I know.
According to who, Facebook?
Right.
I mean, come on. I'm waiting for something to happen.
I can see if they're like taking out like thanks or whatever. I mean, I guess, but it's censorship. I mean, government censors things, but it is whatever kind of censorship you think it is, I guess.
Right.
Not
right.
that Facebook's ever been a pal of ours anyway. I mean, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. You were going to ask a question.
Yeah. So I had an encounter today.
Oh.
Right. And so I
Does it involve screaming and beetles?
Internally, it involves screaming.
Okay.
But I've sort of moved on from it.
Cockroaches, this is what I meant.
No cockroaches, thank God.
Okay.
Only human beings. So
same difference.
Let me just ask you this question, and I'm not looking for a context of, say, marriages, but just as like a guy, right? What is the dumbest thing you've ever done? Like, if you were to just go through the Rolodex like now and go, yeah, that was fucking stupid. That was really fucking stupid. That was stupid. What sort of, that you're willing to share, what sort of rises to the top of things, of dumb shit you've done, where you look back and go, that was really fucking stupid? Again, that you're willing to discuss. Not that this is a therapy session.
I had a friend who, the way a lot of houses are built in Nebraska are bi-level. Okay. And a lot of times the outdoor deck is on the second floor.
Right.
Because sometimes that's where the living room, dining room area is, because the other part goes down because it gets fucking cold in Nebraska. And because of the way his deck was built, it was an easy pull up to the roof.
All right.
Bet you can't jump off the roof. Bet you can't jump off the roof. Fuck you, I'll do it.
Was there alcohol involved?
No, we were teenagers in high school.
All right, yeah, okay. And so just saying, hormones.
You do it, I'll do it.
Right.
And he did it. And I went, shit. So I did it. Now here's the thing: you jump forward, you hit, you tuck and roll.
Onto the grass, I hope. You didn't try to jump onto like a driveway.
In backyard.
Right,
yeah. Right. My skinny ass at the time. Now remember, this was either my sophomore or junior year of high school.
Right.
And my freshman year of high school, which was still junior high in Oklahoma, I wrestled at 75 and 82 pounds. It was a horrible year. I hated wrestling. I went 0-14. There you go. I was like the I
never really understood
I was like
high school wrestling, to be fair.
I was like the Detroit Lions of junior high wrestling.
Right.
So anyway, by my sophomore, junior year, whichever year this was, I was probably up to 110, 115 pounds. So I jump off, get caught by a gust of wind, and stood straight up, and I came straight down off the roof of this two-story house. And so I thought I had a broken foot, a broken toe. Pretty sure I pulled muscles in my back, but I wasn't going to admit it. See, I did it. You did it. I did it. Screw you.
Yeah. That's such a guy thing.
That was pretty dumb.
All right, so Ray disagrees with you. She said the dumbest thing you ever done is mooning your neighbor's story.
That was not dumb. That was classic.
Did you actually moon it, or were you just like walking around your house naked and showed cheek out the window or something?
Oh, no. We lived in an apartment complex at the same time.
All right.
And to get to the laundry room or to the office of the apartment complex, I had to walk by. They had a first floor apartment that had a little patio and sliding glass doors. And stupid them, PJ and Ray, always left the curtain open, I don't know, to get sunshine or whatever.
Right.
So every time I walked by, whether I was carrying a load of laundry, coming from the office, the pool, whatever, going to my car, whatever, they saw my ass. Most of Altus, Oklahoma saw my ass during that time in my life.
Wow.
Every bar, somehow or another, I dropped trowel in the middle of a bar.
Street.
This was, oh man. Thanks, Ray, for bringing that up.
Daniel Nathaniel says, as a 12-year-old, he jumped across the tracks of the Revolution, which I know very well, roller coaster at Magic Mountain. When you're 12, though, you don't have like life insurance or hospital bills or things. You just do shit, and then you think, you don't even think about it because you just, your parents have to clean it up, and Then you get on this side of it, and you go, oh, that's like a $700 ambulance ride. That's like a $2,000 visit.
Right.
It's we
How
can't,
long am I going to be
it's we
off
can never
work?
go back to Magic Mountain again. It's
They kicked me. What happened to you? I got kicked out of Disney World.
oh man. I've only ever been kicked out of like 3 bars. One in Denver with prejudice for sure.
Story?
Oh, we were just it was one of those nights where you were it was
Oh, I know.
peak of Air Force career, Friday night, just in tune with the world, and
Time for you to go.
And about 2 a.m., just feeling it, was sharking people at pool with a couple of friends of mine, and we were just talking so much shit. They just kicked us out. I mean, we were kings of whatever. It was dumb. I was trying to go through the Rolodex of the dumbest things I've ever done, and just was stumbling over things that are just in such a personal way, so stupid. And
I've done a lot of dumb things. Let's not make any,
and again, we're not
mistakes about it.
We're not perseverating on like the whole marriage or dating part. That's like a whole separate catalog of dumb shit, and those are all personal to us. But I was trying to think of something that are more, like as a kid, I used to hit myself in the head with a dictionary to prove how tough I was to people, and I used to let people hit me in the arm. I mean, but I was trying to think of one really colossal dumb thing. And I couldn't come up with it, I'll save it for the next show for sure. Just remind me, because by then I'll go, yeah, that's the one for sure. But I can think, I mean, off the top of my head, I'm like, oh yeah, that was stupid. Oh, that was really stupid. Like I've bought things for thousands of dollars that I shouldn't have bought. Spend a lot of money on things, and I'm like, shit like that where you're like, I just spent $3,000 I didn't need to spend,
right.
And you just like, well, suck it up. You're done. There's nothing else. So things like that, I've just been like, fuck, I don't want to,
See, I was always a puncher. I punched things.
Oh, okay.
And eventually things, not people, usually.
I can't see you punching anybody.
Ask PJ. I don't back down from anybody.
You can't punch Batman. No punching Batman.
I won't go into a story unless he wants to tell it. But can't. Anyway, I got into an argument which was par for the course with a significant other.
Yeah.
And she stormed off and drove off, and I just went, fuck. Jumped up when I still could do this.
Yeah.
Punched the facing above my garage door.
Yeah.
Straight on.
Yeah.
And went, just fuck.
Did you break all the fingers in your hand?
And it was the night before
PJ
the movers
said
were
go
coming.
ahead, by the way.
Okay. I'll get to
finish
that.
this one first.
So it was the night before the movers were coming because we were PCSing, which unfortunately tells you who that is.
Yeah.
And so I went, okay, well, I'm going to go to the ER. And no shit, he said, who did you punch? I said, I didn't punch anybody.
I punched a thing.
He said, you have a classic boxer's fracture on your pinky knuckle that goes up in a V. I said, okay. I punched. I was unscrewing a headboard on a waterbed because the movers are coming tomorrow, and it started to fall, and I reached up and punched it like that.
Right.
I wasn't going to tell him I lost my temper or anything like that. Military doctors. So PJ.
They like that shit. They love that shit, I'm sure.
PJ, we were at an establishment in Altus, Oklahoma. And all of a sudden, we started missing PJ. I asked Ray, his wife, where did PJ go?
Right.
He went to the bathroom. Okay, I'll go check. And I remember this better than PJ, no matter what he said.
Is this the PJ story?
Yes, this is
okay.
Because
Ray said he tried to save Batman.
Here we go.
All right.
And
this is exciting now.
PJ was drunk. So I remember it better than PJ because I wasn't drunk because I was trying to hit on a woman. Anyway, where's PJ? Ray said he went to the bathroom. I said, okay, I'll go see what he's doing, being stupid, whatever.
Right.
So I try to open the bathroom door in this large country and western establishment
and
in
Western,
Altus.
right?
Yeah, and western, and it was blocked from the inside. So I just, I kind of tried to shove my way in, and finally I could. And the first thing I see is PJ laying on the floor. And just before I could even go, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
This other dude, how do I say this?
Maybe we should have, I wonder if we could get PJ on right now. PJ, if you have Skype, you need to find me as JST5150 and see if I can't add you to this conversation. Just call me and see if I can channel you in so we can get your account of the story. I think that would be helpful. Again, my handle is JST5150. See if you can friend me and I can add you on, and then we'll try to channel in your audio. Okay, keep going until we'll see if that happens.
This guy standing over him, guy I never had seen before.
Right.
And he just winds up. PJ's on the ground, by the way.
Okay.
Like he had just fallen or something. And I said, before I could even say, what the fuck are you doing, dumbass? This dude just with all of his might just clocks PJ right in the
classic refrain.
face.
What the fuck are you doing, dumbass?
And right up there with, hey, watch this.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy just clocks PJ right in the face with his fist. PJ's head bounces off the linoleum so hard that upon later inspection, he, where the tile squares meet, he had the square, the X, or the T, if you will, of the linoleum in his cheek.
Okay.
So, and I said, oh, no fucking way.
Wow.
So, and as this guy finishes, he like posed with one knee on the ground, like in the superhero landing pose.
Oh, nice.
He just
like Super Saiyan or something like that, right?
Yeah, and I said, no fucking way. So I reach way back to Mississippi.
Oh, that's because that's where you got to reach if you're going to make a good punch. It's always Mississippi.
I got that from Richard Pryor.
No, I remember. I know the bit very well.
And I came up and I knocked him into a urinal, knocked him sideways, and I didn't lift him up off the ground anyway. But I knocked him into the urinal. And just as I reached down for PJ to help him up, rule number 1, I forgot about the guy behind me.
Always. That's the guy. That's when I got into the one bar fight in my life. I forgot about the one guy behind me.
So this dude grabs me around the neck from behind, and he goes, "Hey, this is 1-on-1," and I just said, "Fuck you."
Right.
My buddy's down. I think I said he's down, and at that point,
Batman down.
Yeah, at that point, somebody else was trying to get in the door because we were back. The guy that had me was backed up against the door, and this dude, my head came up to like his chest. He was one of those big cowboy guys, right?
Yeah.
And somebody was trying to get in. So the guy that I hit goes, "Oh, you want some too?" And he reaches way back to Mississippi, and I go, "Oh shit, this is gonna hurt."
Timon and Pumbaa, Ray said. Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically it. So I see the punch coming in, and I flinched. Moved my head to the side just enough to where it glanced off my ear.
Right.
And at that time, somebody came through the door.
Right.
The bouncers came through the door. So I got lucky. In the meantime, if I remember correctly, PJ had a chipped tooth from the linoleum. And to this day, and I've asked him, and he's told me. Yeah. He's told me what happened. And I think the consensus is he doesn't know how the fight started.
Well, I think he's trying to get through. He asked my username on Skype, so we're gonna hang back on that. We're going to, if he pops on, we'll see if we can integrate him into the call and at least get his voice. He can come in through audio, and we'll make it like a conference call or something like that. I think they can.
The whole point of that story is I don't back down from anybody. PJ will tell you I've tried to break up fights and stop fights, and
especially at a country and western bar,
or a karaoke bar, or whatever.
Hey, you're watching This Show Is a JK with your pals, Jason and
That was
Keith
a hell of a story to tell.
It was a great story. On a Tuesday night, and all 4 of you who are joining us, thank you. We realized we had some issues earlier. We've got those fixed. We've been streaming just perfectly, and at least now I know which Wi-Fi to connect on, so that was easy enough. Audio on iTunes, Spotify, and elsewhere. In the coming weeks, we will be bringing back the bracket, and surprise, we've got a bracket tonight. to talk to you about. So lock up your daughters and hide your sheep. This is the night we bring you a brand new bracket, and please share the show now because there are thousands of people who want to hear this bracket coming up, which is...
It is best Christmas song.
Oh, hang on, he's here. Hang on, let me integrate
Okay.
him. Merge calls. How do you merge them? Merge, like that.
I don't know.
I think that's how.
All right, PJ.
PJ, are you there?
I can't hear him.
PJ?
PJ.
I hear you both.
There he is. Let me check. PJ, say something. Make sure we have good audio on the broadcast. Go ahead.
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2.
We can hear you. All right. So.
Oh, look at that! I got video even, or had a video even.
Let me see.
Get away from the light, PJ.
Let me see if I can add you. I'll see if I can add you on the screen as video. But okay, so you gotta tell this side of your story because Keith makes himself sound like he was the urban cowboy and saved the day.
How'd that linoleum look? That's what I'm going to say.
And I don't think that's completely the case. What's your take on this?
Did we lose him?
Well, no.
He's coming.
What Keith has told you is correct, other than the fact that I was not drunk. Because we had just gotten there early in the evening.
Ah.
Hey, buddy, your audio is kind of in and out. It may just be your Wi-Fi, but keep going if you for some reason.
That's right. We were 1 year in, weren't we?
All right. So this all started over a young lady that I worked with at the clinic.
Always a young lady.
Keith was actually kidding.
Right.
Wait, what? No. Different woman. Sorry. It wasn't her. It was somebody we both know that, yeah. Well, anyway, go ahead, PJ.
Anyway, so, okay, if it wasn't this young lady, the guy that cold cocked me was trying to hit on her and called her a lesbian because she wouldn't return his affection.
Okay.
He questioned me about it in the bathroom, and I told him, dude, you just need to leave her alone. She's not interested. And just as I zipped up, I turned around and cold cocked me.
Ah, okay. So you got sucker punched. Okay. I'm tracking now.
Wow. So
right. See, that sounds authentic. I think Keith embellished his a little bit. I swore he was wearing in his story a Captain America uniform, but I mean that may be a little off.
Nope.
All right, PJ.
I remember what I was wearing.
PJ, I appreciate you coming on with us, man. It takes bravery just to sign in like that. Your audio's in and out, but we appreciate you signing on. We'll have you on again in the future so we can talk more about Batman and stuff like that. All right.
Thanks, brother.
All right, we'll talk to you soon, Peach. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, the addendum to that story is I ended up dating the girl I was hitting on.
Oh, really?
She actually ran out to the parking lot and said, Keith, what happened?
Yeah.
Because obviously PJ and I and the other two guys got asked not so politely to leave the bar that night. My parents don't know that story. I hope they don't watch this. Wow.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you, PJ, for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a great little add-on for that. All right, before we get to your amazing Christmas song bracket, let's talk a little bit about how cool Dolly Parton is. Now, I never thought I would say that in my life. Mostly when I was a kid, I really just wanted to see whatever nude pictures she had in the Playboy issue that she did. Which she didn't do, right? She did it all very savoir-faire because I think her husband, who she's been married to forever, I think would disagree with that, and she's got a set of values and all that. But she did it, and actually, I think they approached her again to do it, and she may do it in the same vein. But I didn't think Playboy did anything else anymore. I had no idea that they even still existed, so that's weird to me. So
I think it's all online now.
Okay, that makes sense. I know they do some weird TV series about swingers and just the swinger culture. And it's not weird. I mean, it is the culture that it is, but it's just that's the TV that they make. So anyway, so I bring up Dolly Parton mostly for one thing, but it was her birthday. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And she's just known for just popping out of the blue and doing these very cool sorts of things. You're like, oh shit, look what Dolly Parton did, right? Like, right. I think she's donated like 1 million books to the libraries in her area. I think she has, she's done started these, all sorts of things. But the thing I wanted to point out was, did you know that Dolly Parton gave like $1 million or $2 million toward Moderna making the vaccine of theirs a viable vaccine? And I was like,
yes.
And they basically said, yeah, if it weren't for Dolly Parton's money, we wouldn't be at this point right now.
Right.
And I get it. It's money makes the world go round. Okay, got it. But someone had to give it to her, and it was her, and I think that's very cool. I mean, really cool.
I can't remember anyone ever saying Dolly Parton has been a bad person.
No, ever.
Ever.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
She does these things. She doesn't ask any publicity about it.
Nope.
Remember, somebody told the media about that. They had to go and ask Dolly, did you do this? She said, yes, my foundation donated. Yes. She's donated, as you said, books. She reads to children.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. Back in the 9 to 5 days and that, what was it, Rhinestone she did with
Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone. Like you said, everybody just wanted to see her naked.
Pretty much.
She is a
I was like 15 at the time, though, and she had the biggest hooters on earth, which she, made no druthers about. That's what she's like, yeah, I got them. Of course I did. So, I mean, I don't think it was necessarily an ill-advised request, but, nobody knew how great a human being she was either. But if you're 15 and your testosterone count's somewhere north of 900, you don't really care. You just want to see those hooters. So, but now she's helped basically solve.
She's an amazing.
She's helped solve the pandemic of our lifetime. So that's a pretty good deal.
And she's written some of the most amazing songs that you wouldn't know she's written.
She wrote I had no idea until a while ago that she'd written I Will Always Love You, the Whitney Houston song from The Bodyguard. And I was like, oh, that was Dolly Parton. And of course, Jolene, which if you play it at 33 RPMs, it actually sounds better as kind of a morning dirge or whatever. Hey, there's my dad. Yay!
Hey, Dad.
So here's so you don't know
time
this.
For me to fly.
Yeah. One of the things I like to do, Keith, when I have nothing else to do, is I like to pull up Google Maps and just look at all the places I've lived. And nice. I had a little bit of that when I came home today. I was like, I just want to see, like where I lived. And so I was looking at where my dad lived in Pawtucket and where my aunt lived in Pawtucket and where I used to live for a little while in Seekonk, Massachusetts, and where I spent some time and things like that. And I discovered where my dad lives is actually 2 streets over from where he was actually raised, which is really, really interesting to me. So I was asking him about that today and where my grandfather
As a military brat, I don't get that.
Exactly. That's what I mean. That's why it's such a weird thing when I'm on Google Maps. I'm just like, oh, there's my house. One of my houses in California. There's another house in California.
Right.
There's another one.
I've done that.
Here's where I lived in Rhode Island. Here's where I lived in, Wichita Falls. Here's where I lived on Midway Island. And so, so you get to, with the map, you get to go not only to that spot, but you can street view it and be like, oh yeah, here's where I rode my bike. I rode my bike down the street to this 7-Eleven. And so I get into these holes. So it's great to see Dad because I was thinking about him today and I was like, oh, this is where he lives in Pawtucket. And then, like I said, 2 streets over. And I was just thinking that is where he grew up. And the point I was going to make is, like you, we don't have that sense of this is the one place I am, right? Where a lot of people are like, this is the one house I've lived in, maybe 2, whatever. But this is my neighborhood. This is my state, and I find that very, in a lot of ways, very comforting. But on the other hand, this nomadic life where I think I've lived probably 45 or 50 different houses between Air Force and being a Navy brat. It's all I know, right? It's probably why I tend to, move things around in my office. And now a civilian, right? So I only know a nomadic life. So to be able to go through Google Maps and be like, boom, 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 where somebody else is like, boom, yep, there's my house in Wisconsin. That's where I grew up. That's where I bought it, And I always heard there was I read, this was a while ago, but there's a statistic, I'll get it right, that says most people will be born, will live, and will die within a 50 or a 75 mile an hour radius of the place they are born. Like 85% of people. And I remember when I was in Warner Robins, I was talking to our secretary at the time, very nice woman. I still know her. She's a great person. She goes, yeah, I've only left the state of Georgia one time. She was like 26, and it was to go to Talladega for the race. And that's literally like 2 hours away. So, again, everybody's story is interesting in that respect. And again, when I was thinking about my dad today, I was just thinking, that's his neighborhood. That's where he grew up. That's what he knows the best. And so it was just, anyway, it was very interesting to me.
It was very interesting for me. One of the reasons I wanted to come back to Germany was because I was here as a kid in 1977 through 1980.
Right.
And so imagine the surreality.
Welcome to Pinnell Surrealty, where you can buy a house.
When I got back and the second weekend I was here, I go back to Wiesbaden.
Right.
And just walk around these places I was,
right.
45 years ago, 43 years ago at the time,
right.
And go, yep, I jumped off that wall. I played in that playground. They had different playground equipment at the time.
Right.
That tennis court is still there that I used to skateboard on.
Yep.
And we built skateboard ramps, and that's where, and the school. I mean, it was just, you walk around and it's almost not real for you because you're reliving these 43-year-old memories.
Yeah.
But still able to reach out and touch the tree that was right outside your parents' window, that kind of thing. So it's really surreal to be able to do that as a military brat, which I wouldn't give up the military brat lifestyle for anything. Being at Fort Sill as I was for 14 and a half years, obviously the longest I've been anywhere. Before that, the longest I've been anywhere was 4 years.
Okay.
In my life.
Yeah, the longest I've ever lived in any one home is 5.5 years, and that's Garmisch. Prior to that, it was a tie between Texas and Warner Robins at 5 years. And then even in California, we never lived in any place more than, I think, 3 or 4 years. Right. So, I lived in the state of California for, about 11 or 12 years, but really I only, lived in one specific place. So, and I was telling somebody this, but like when Annabelle is done here, she will have lived more of her life here than she will in the United States. I will have lived a total of like 10 years in Germany, which is, it's just little things you don't think about, that are just, and that's why when I bring up the discussion about like where my dad's from, which he also said my nomadic life was 64 to 68 towards Southeast Asia on government vacation. Right, exactly. I think, there it is, right? You don't, and I've had this discussion with Dee Dee really often, which is, you don't have a place to call hometown. Like, what's your football team? What's your baseball team? Like, you're a Sooners fan because that's where you were most of the time in your life, right? I'm a Raiders fan because I'm a Raiders fan because I was in San Diego, but my best friend was a Raiders fan, so I became a Raiders fan. I'm a Detroit Red Wings fan because when I lived in New York and we used to play video games, we'd play Sega hockey, and Detroit was the only team available in order to win money. But otherwise, like I'm a Lakers fan, I'm a sports teams, things like that, things Julie Veckerline always talks about like Cincinnati chili and the three-way and all that stuff. She's very tied to her sort of home region. And to me, home region is wherever my wife and daughter are, right? So, but mostly, just kind of San Diego and California is kind of because that's where my sister lives. That's what I know most intimately, although I'm getting pretty close with Germany, so it's weird. So yeah, it's interesting to bring all that up. PJ says before we get on to the bracket, 9 years stationed in Altus, 9 years stationed, he cut that one off, and then 19 years in San Antonio prior to that as an Air Force brat. So yeah, I loved San Antonio. That was in the tie for another 5 years as well. I loved it immensely. I used to live up west of 1604 or so. All right, so bracket time. Christmas songs. What do you got?
Christmas song. I decorated the office this past weekend, and that put me in a mood.
All right.
So Christmas song. Do you want to go over the bracket, or do you want to just wait?
Let me see if I can bring it up.
Now I will tell you, for anybody listening or listening back at the recording, there's going to be songs that you think should be on the list. I get it. I love Christmas
you know what? You don't need to apologize. We've gone through this a million times. Just,
Well, for our new listeners,
if they don't like it, suck it.
Suck it!
It'll be okay. It really will. All right, Laura, let me find your bracket real quick. Hang on. Let me see if I can put it on screen for folks. 1 second here.
I haven't started the bracket yet, so we'll do that as soon as we get off the show.
I think I got to log in again. 1 second. Sorry. La la la.
Do you know your login?
I friggin' hope so. Yeah, I do. It was saved, so that's all good. So let's see.
Yeah, it was saved for me too.
Where's tournaments? Okay. Tournaments. Breast Christmas song. Ding. Okay.
You said breast Christmas song.
Yeah, well, you can see where my mind is.
Now I need lotion. Never mind. I'll be back.
You. All right. There's the bracket.
Kidding me?
There's
Are
the
you
bracket.
kidding me? I get excited going down the lotion aisle in the BX.
All right. I've got the bracket up on screen. So do you want me to read these or do you want to read them?
I don't have the bracket in front of me.
All right. So here we go. So what Keith has posted is Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Trying to be eclectic.
He went 80s with Do They Know It's Christmas Time at All?
At all.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Carol of the Bells, which he did have on there, but that's my favorite. Do You Hear What I Hear? Another timeless classic. Hard Candy Christmas. What?
See, Hard Candy from Dolly Parton. You've never heard Hard Candy Christmas?
I probably have, but I just don't know it.
It's basically that they grow up so poor that the only thing they get for Christmas is the bag of candy for 25 cents from the local farming store or whatever it is.
I'm tracking. All right, go ahead. And so we have Little Saint Nick, which who did that to some fame?
Beach Boys.
Beach Boys. Yeah, okay. And then Santa Baby. So what are the obvious omissions? White Christmas.
Yeah.
Jingle Bells.
Is that there should be more than that on there? Did you skip some?
I only see 2, 4. Oh, okay, never mind. I'm sorry, I forgot to look in round 2. Round 2 is You're a Mean One. Mr. Grinch, Holly Jolly Christmas with Burl Ives, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, and then Little Drummer Boy. So all good. But now let's look at the obvious omissions are Jingle Bells.
Yeah.
White Christmas. Mariah Carey's song, kind of popular. All I Want for Christmas Is You, kind of popular.
Yeah. See, I tried to leave obvious choices off. There's some obvious ones.
The one that
there,
my friend Amani Lyle hates, which is Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time, which from a meme, someone says is actually there's a satanic ritual going on during the verse, and then right before the chorus starts, they're discovered, and then we're just simply having a wonderful Christmas
saw
time.
That as a
it's my favorite.
fact.
Dee Dee and I were joking about it in the car this weekend, so it was totally perfect. So that's an omission, and then a couple others. We don't have to get too deep into that. So, all right. So your 6 and 11 is Little Saint Nick versus Santa Baby. I like the Beach Boys
right now.
Oh, you want to wait?
I think we should wait till the next show to give.
You want to wait till the next show? Oh,
whenever that is.
All right. Well, then that'll be. We'll just do it Sunday like we always do it. We'll just do it this way. So, all right.
Okay.
So there's your bracket. We'll publicize that on the page, and we will discuss that in depth. I thought we were doing it tonight. I'm a dumbass.
Well, that's up to you. We're at
no. We'll hold it.
An hour.
No, we'll hold it. It's a good tease. We can go longer now. We're adults. No, we really are most of the time. Okay, good. Yeah, no, that's a good one. So we'll tease that all week, and then get you to come back, fill in the brackets, and then I've got to figure out where I left off T-shirts. There are still people who need T-shirts, and I got to get those out too. So, in any case, good bracket, and then we'll get that done. So good call. All right.
So we will start the bracket right after we get off here. So if you want to be part of this bracket, just hang tight till we get off. We'll start it.
You want to get in on this shit?
And we'll get it on. And also, again, going back to what Jason said earlier, share this, please.
Yeah.
Because we want other people to get in our bracket.
And to be fair, we've been sort of in absentia because of work and, a lot of things. Right. But I feel like we're going to get back in stride as of this show, basically because we rediscovered, this. So we'll do togetherness shows when we can, but this is convenient for both of us, and it works well. And as of this one... it's all technically correct too, so that's good. So, any final thoughts before we say goodnight to whoever remains? And please sign in with comments if you want to say goodnight or any thoughts you want us to, or anything you want us to wrap up with.
haven't talked sports at
Oh,
all.
that is okay. So we need to talk about
Matt
this, even if you're
Patricia,
going to fall
the
asleep.
Broncos. Wow.
What? Wait, what?
I said Matt Patricia gets fired, and then there's the Broncos having to play with a wide receiver.
Okay, I thought you said he
quarterback?
went to the Broncos. I was like, fuck.
Oh,
that
no,
was fast.
no,
But no. So Patricia, whatever. He was that was a sinking.
He was
ship.
a lame duck.
Yeah, another Parcells coordinator. I mean, he's a smart guy, and maybe he'll land on his feet somewhere, whatever. But he's an aeronautical engineer. So, but the Broncos thing was the one that fascinated me the most because four. They had four quarterbacks who could not play. And then, they end up scoring as many points as the Buccaneers did against the Saints the week before, as my friend Henry pointed out. So, I have to agree with a lot of people. This year's football is just weird. People are like, "Oh, it's an inferior product." Well, it's a year of a pandemic. Of course it is. There's not as much practice. There's not as much focus.
They didn't have preseason. Yeah.
But there were 3 games on Sunday, to start the day, and it was Tennessee and somebody, and none of them were Falcons Raiders, which, I mean, the Raiders got absolutely destroyed. But I just wasn't interested in any of the 3 games. I was like, eh. I mean, I think the Bears-Packers was the Sunday night game, but I wasn't staying up till fucking 2:45 in the morning. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, and it looked like it had the best, outcome, but anyway, it just wasn't on. But yeah, you're right. We didn't get a chance to do sports.
The Arizona, I forgot who they played. No.
They played New England.
Arizona.
That was on. I didn't watch that either.
Was good. I'm becoming an Arizona fan largely because Kyler Murray, formerly of Oklahoma, is fun to watch. Now, here's my thing with the Denver fiasco.
Yeah.
Why was Denver made to play when the Ravens have 25 people on the COVID list, but that game's been moved 3 times?
I think it's moved to Wednesday now, right?
Yeah, don't tell me there's not preferential fucking treatment in the NFL. That amazes me.
I think at this point, I mean, I know the vaccine's coming, but the fact that they're still, I mean, it just seems like they should just take a couple weeks off and then resume or something. I don't know, or at least, in the vaccine, I don't know. It's just, it's such a weird patchwork season. I mean, you brought up the great point before of, here we are with all these college teams who have weird records, they've played weird schedules, and yet somehow we're still using the same rules about ranking them.
Yeah.
And so
you got a team who's played 3 games, they're 3-0, and they're in the top 5, top 10, and you got other teams who have played 8, 9 games, and they're outside the bubble.
Yeah.
With 2 losses.
Yeah.
So it's, if you want Keith's opinion, and you're going to get it because that's the show, is just pull the plug right now.
And again, I don't think pull the plug. I think you just need to, hey, look, we're going to go dormant for 3 weeks until the vaccines come. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe you just sort of say, okay, you've got the best record, it's your year. I don't know. But I think my point when I started with is, some people want to say, oh, it's an inferior product. It is an inferior product. You should have that's the expectation you should have had from the start. The question is, and I think this question above all for you and I and for others is it entertaining enough to watch? Mm-hmm. Because that's the difference. Would you rather watch a game between fucking Arizona and New England, or would you rather put in a movie, or would you rather watch Queen's Gambit, or would you rather turn on your Xbox, or would you rather sit in front of your, with your phone? Or would you rather go to Pornhub? Whatever your thing is, that's it. Would you rather? And that's the product the NFL has to consider is what they're putting out on the field. Is that going to take away or, move people away from that other thing that they feel like they're going to get more value out of? To me, that's what matters, right? If the game sucks, and again, if it's Tennessee versus DeVry Technical Institute, I don't give a shit. I'm not going to watch that. And, AFN's oddly hopscotch when they schedule these games. It just seems like none of those 3 games were of much prominence, but maybe that's just what they had.
I think I figured out that each week they have to go with a different network.
I don't think so. There's only 2 networks that broadcast football. No. And the way that the schedule's been fucked up, both networks are sort of sharing the NFC and the AFC. You know how that works, right?
Yeah.
CBS owns the AFC, Fox owns the NFC. As long as if the NFC is the home team, that's the one that's broadcast on Fox. If the NFC is the away team at an AFC thing, then CBS can broadcast it, blah, 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 blah. But the bigger point is, no, it has nothing to do with that. I think it just has to do with they say it's driven by, okay, they want to equalize and say, okay, we broadcast the Raiders 2 weeks in a row, but I don't know. I think people at some point just want prominence over, I really want to see, whatever, Detroit lose again or whatever. So
at the beginning of the college football season, AFN played 3 weeks in a row Texas State. I think I mentioned this before. I have no idea where, most 99% of the population can tell you where Texas State is.
Yeah, but PJ, NBC and ESPN only broadcast one-off games. CBS and Fox have the bulk of the other games, which is what I was talking about and what Keith was saying in terms of selection. Those other two games that NBC, or NBC does a Thursday night game too, but those are going to get broadcast either way. It's that sort of gamut of games that AFN decides, okay, we're going to broadcast that one live, and then we're going to show that one recorded the next day or whatever, which I'm actually okay with. In fact, the Sunday night game, I usually come home Monday night. It's on at 7. I kick it on. Usually I don't know the score, and I'm good with that. Again, unless it's, haberdashery versus what it's like, okay, no, I'll work on the podcast or draw or something like that. So, all right. Any final thoughts?
No, that's it. Everybody, wear your mask, do the right thing. Let's get the numbers down, and don't spend too much money on holidays unless it's on me.
I think we're gonna. I think if with Keith's agreement, we're gonna go back to Tuesdays and Sundays, probably at 9:00. Even though 9:00 is in the middle of the football, I think we'll both be all right. So. The TV's nearby, if anything else. So, besides, if you have to watch Detroit versus, I can't even make the joke anymore. Then doing this is far more fun. So, all right. Well, thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. If you're listening on iTunes, don't forget we are available in all those places. I'll make sure that we start posting more content and get you back involved. Reddit took off their weekly podcast advertisement thing. That's the other thing that was driving a lot of traffic too, and that sucks. So anyway, we'll try to get out there and try to be a little more structured too, because I think we've hit on a lot of things that we talk about. Just this show, we just happen to come on and go, let's talk about 6 things no one knows we're going to talk about, so there's nothing to look forward to. So we'll make sure that you know what we're going to talk about before we do a show too. We'll do better at that. So good to see you, my friend. Take care. And we will talk to you all later. Ciao, everybody.
Peach, thanks for popping in.
PJ, thanks for popping in. Bye.